everybody, how's it going? This is Ryan, Rigs of Death Metal. We're going to be checking out the Martyr pedal from Master Effects. Let's hear it. Alright guys, we're going to check out what this sounds like by itself. This is just the Martyr pedal running into the higher power 60 watt power amp. The contour knob is usually kind of what makes the big difference here. And I really dig this pedal a lot. That's with the gain maxed and on OD2. Me personally, I actually prefer running this with an overdrive. Let you hear a little bit more what the EQ does on this. The treble control, I'm sorry, I'm blind. That's our bass control. Mids, it's dined. Which, of course, the contour knob is going to drastically change what that mid knob does. It's totally scooped out. This being the treble. And that's all the sloppy riffing and noodling I can think of.
All right, you guys have got to hear this thing in a mix. You got to hear it by itself. We'll chat about it in a second. For those unaware, the Martyr pedal is one made by Master Effects, but it is emulating the preamp of the classic Marshall Valvestate, which was a hybrid amp that Marshall put out, in the 90s. It was basically a solid state amp, but it had, I think, just a single tube in the preamp section. Was sort of like their, at the time, affordable entryway into the Marshall line of amps. They were kind of made famous by a lot of bands like Death, Meshuggah, Static X, Prong. These things kind of have their own vibe. They don't sound like a JCM 800 or anything like that. They're just kind of their own animal, and a lot of bands absolutely loved them for that. This is the revision 1 of the Martyr. The main difference between that and revision 2 is on the revision 1 they had the inclusion of a toggle switch that lets you go between overdrive 1 and overdrive 2, which are basically just the two channels of the Valvestate amp. OD1, of course, being the much lower gain channel. All the famous bands that I mentioned prior, they all used OD2. So I think they probably dropped the toggle switch because, Master Effects, they probably realized people were really just buying this to emulate some of their favorite album tones, hence really only needing the one channel. Besides that, the controls are the exact same on both revisions. You have your bass, middle, and treble controls, a volume and a gain control, and then the contour knob. Other than the general voicing of the preamp, I think the contour is like the real big thing here. It's kind of like just a general EQ sweep. Definitely changes the mid range. I kind of liked it at either 9 o'clock for a much more scooped kind of sound, or about 3 o'clock for a little bit more mid forward kind of sound. On its own, it's pretty cool, but I thought that the pedal really shined with an overdrive pedal running into it, just boosting this thing. Then it is on par with any kind of high gain death metal, black metal tone you could imagine. I really dug it. It didn't make me think of like an instant Chuck Schuldiner tone or anything like that. It was just kind of its own thing, which I really dig. But I'm always going to dial things in the way I like them, not necessarily trying to cop a specific sound. There's a lot, speaking to Chuck Schuldiner specifically, there's a lot more going into his signal chain than just the amp by itself, though. Taylor Danley recently did a really cool video kind of deep diving on the general guitar tone of Death, like spanning their entire career, which early Death I think was like a JCM 800, but this is kind of like the sound of the majority of Chuck and his tenure with Death. I really like this as a studio tool, kind of running it into an IR, again with an overdrive, but running into a preamp or an effects loop, definitely not really a big fan of running this into like a clean channel in the front of an amp. The EQ sections of the amp and the pedal just don't play well together to my ear. Master Effects did not send me this pedal. I actually bought this secondhand off of Keith Marrow, which he featured this same pedal in Mike Ashton's guitar playthrough for a Volnir song a while back. I think Keith boosted that as well, and then maybe ran it into like a clean, like a super clean kind of pedal platform amp. So yeah, it's definitely one of those, like, your mileage will vary, because there's a wide range of tones that you can get out of this thing. So it's definitely one of those pedals, like, if you get it, don't just copy whatever I said to do. This is definitely a pedal that you would want to experiment with and find the best application for you. Really cool pedal. The contour knob is what really helps set this aside, really helps this stand out from some other like Marshall based preamp pedals on the market, because there's a ton. With that said, thank you guys for checking this video out. Comment down below, what is your favorite album tone or favorite band that utilized the classic Marshall Valvestate? Comment down below how you thought the tone sounded in the video. Sound off. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We will see you next time. Peace.